This morning, we're going to be talking about mitochondria, and we're going to be talking about NRF1. I'm asked quite often, now, why do I need to take this one? Some people call it the one in the silver bottle, in the bottle with the silver label, and that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. So, first of all, I want to share with you a picture that most of you will remember. And when many of you were introduced to this for the first time, it was because of these little dancing things this is free radicals. So you're like, oh, that's those bad guys, those free radicals. Well, this particular little cell probably didn't have as many free radicals as others. But you can see all these free radicals damaging this little cell. And um, we know that NRF2, the main thing it does, the flagship product, what it does is it will eliminate an average of 40% of these bad guys in 30 days, average of 70% in 120 days. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know you need it every day. However, if you don't know what a free radical is, you may think it's a political party. It's not. What it is, these are damaging um, chemicals. They're damaging. They're they are molecules that have lost or gained an electron, which attack the other molecules, causing disease. There's over 300 diseases that are directly related or caused by free radicals. So you want to lower your free radicals by taking NRF2. But why would you want to take NRF1? Well, if you're looking here at these little bean-shaped items, you see them? And you see they have a little light. This is your mitochondria. And the more mitochondria you have, the healthier and more energy you have. Now, this particular one didn't have, but from what we can tell, 5. As you age, you decline in your production of mitochondria about 10% every decade. So by the time you hit your 50s or 60s, you are producing only about 50% of the mitochondria that really your body needs. And the main two organs that this affects is your heart and your brain. How many of us know people in their 50s and 60s who began having heart problems or began to suffer some problems with their brain? And if they went to the doctor for a diagnosis, the doctor didn't say to them, oh, it's your mitochondria. Your mitochondria's aging. It just can't do what it used to do. And that's your problem. Instead, they would, of course, try to give us medicines, which you want medicines when you need medicines. But how do we fuel these mitochondria to begin with? The same way we fuel anything else in our body with food. We were designed to eat food. Our compromised foods and our food choices have helped to damage our mitochondria even more than they would have been damaged by aging. That's why we're seeing so many of the age-related diseases popping up earlier, such as early onset Parkinson's. We're seeing people in very young ages be diagnosed with Parkinson's. And when you study Parkinson's, it'll go right back to some natural causes that can be changed. So when food enters the body, food is to supply the energy we need. The amino acids have to do their job. The protein transcription factors have to do their job. There's all sorts of cellular processes and cellular metabolism that enables us to be alive, to have everything working, but also to heal. We are attacked by all sorts of things. Right now, stress is the highest I've ever seen it in my lifetime. That's so damaging. And what does stress mainly damage? Your mitochondria. So when you're living in a high stress situation, your mitochondria are being challenged even more. So it's not just the poor food, the environmental toxins, but stress. Stress in general damages your mitochondria. I would say, though, that if someone asks me, what's the number one reason for slow and sluggish and too few mitochondria, I would say electromagnetic fields. Because these little guys, these little bean shaped, light shaped things, are the cellular energy in this cell. This cell will only operate and do its job to the efficiency of the mitochondria. When you are using a cell phone, when you are at your computer, when you're watching television, when you're using your microwave, when you are basically living life right now, as we're all living it, in this electromagnetic world field, you are damaging your mitochondria. And so, what you need to do, what you want to do, is figure out a way to get what your mitochondria needs to not just be more efficient, but to be able to multiply and make more mitochondria. So, scientists through the years, as they figured out how to measure your mitochondria, and yes, that can be done, they also began to research. Okay, we know foods activate the mitochondria, but what foods do it? What herbs do it? What plants do it? What's going to activate the mitochondria? Now, I get a number of newsletters here at the house, health newsletters, and there are a lot of things that will activate your mitochondria. There's a lot of things that will harm your mitochondria. But in NRF1, when we look at our very own product, which we're going to look at under Protandim, because Protandim was the original name, which means these things work together for positive change. That's why it's Protandim. So they decided that when we got the NRF1, that they would also put it under Protandim because it's basically the same process. So when we go into here and we look on Learn More, I want to show you that you've got so much information here. Your mitochondria power every cell in your body, from the ones that make up your heart and brain to the ones in your bones and muscles. Now, interestingly enough, mitochondria has its own DNA. So if you think about the fact that you're turning on the electricity in your house to light your whole house, or you're turning on a power switch to give energy to your house, that is very close to what your mitochondria does. So when we go down here, and this is what I want to make sure you understand this morning, is that our ingredients are scientifically proven. These nutrients are scientifically proven to affect your mitochondria in a positive way. Now, the first one, we typically just call it L-carnitine. This amino acid is made in your body. And you'll note what it says here. When they combine it with alpha lipoic acid, it boosts mitochondria production. You see, they can't put that there if they don't have the science to prove it. Supports healthy cellular aging and protects against normal oxidation of RNA and mitochondria. Now, if your body is not making enough L-carnitine, your mitochondria cannot convert fat into muscle. Let me say that again. If your body is not making enough L-carnitine from the foods you're eating, it cannot convert fat into muscle. So many times people are like, I can't lose weight. I just gain more fat. I'm losing muscle. The secret may be that you need more L-carnitine. Now, quercetin, many of you heard of quercetin the first time during COVID. This was one of the major things the health doctors were giving. It is a polyphenol that helps to protect the mitochondria and their function. Now, the fruits and the vegetables that we eat that help us produce quercetin, like garlic, like onions, um, their their job is to protect the cells. Now, I don't know whether they make the cells smell bad or what, but that job of quercetin is to protect that covering around the cells so that no viruses, no bad guys can get in. That's why it is so powerful when you're sick. Now, alpha lipolic acid is also made in the body. It helps to turn glucose into energy that the cell can use and can protect all parts of the cell, including the mitochondria, from free radicals. Now, alpha lipolic acid has been called by some scientists as the cure for neuropathy. Now, that's a big statement, but I read it. I'm sure I've got the article here somewhere. It does so much in the body because your body has to run off of glucose. And when that glucose cannot convert into the energy that you need, you're left storing the glucose, usually in your bloodstream. And when that happens, you not only have insulin resistance, but you have high blood sugar. It's not that your body's not making it. With diabetes 1, it's not making enough glucose, but it is that it is not being utilized effectively. Alpha lipolic acid is a miracle. And I'm thrilled when this came out. I was like, oh my, I was so thrilled that our company, I think our company actually bought this formula, found something that has what we've got to have. Grape extract, you know about these, you hear about them all the time. You hear about grapeseed, grapes, and so forth. And then who has not heard about CoQ10? If you take statins, if you don't take CoQ10, you're shortchanging yourself. You notice that it's made in the body, plays a key role in ATP production, and combined with alpha lipoic acid, supports cellular energy levels, healthy stress response, and antioxidant defense mechanisms. Now, I don't know of many companies that have this kind of product that is strictly natural. They may have added this, that, or the other, and so forth. But with this particular product, you see what we've got. We have got powerful, powerful herbs and plants that will activate your body to make more mitochondria and to revitalize what you've got that's laying around there sluggish because it doesn't have enough energy to do its job. Now, when we first got this product, I was so excited about it, and I was taking it faithfully every morning. I take my Protandim, I take my NRF1, and I got where I wanted to sleep all day, and I don't do that. I don't even nap because if I do it, I can't sleep well at night. And so what happened was about the third week in, after I realized you're not sick, you're just the way most people feel all the time, because I typically have plenty of energy every day. I thought, oh my word, this product, this NRF1 that's activating my mitochondria, is saying, oh lady, go to sleep. We got to work on your mitochondria because your mitochondria rebuilds, revitalates while you are sleeping. And it's going to do a whole lot more if you're in bed around 9:30 or 10, several hours before midnight, because that's when your body is working really hard to do a lot of new cellular growth. And then after midnight, it's doing a lot to correct damages. So I thought, oh, I have to take this at night. So I changed, started taking it at night. At our next meeting, our scientific advisor recommended that if you were getting sleepy in the daytime, take it in the evening because it was making some people sleepy. But what I was also hearing from young millennials was, Miss Shepperd, I've never felt this good in my life. So I had to think about that. Why would they be feeling energetic in the morning, And an old lady like me was beginning to feel sluggish and tired, needing to build mitochondria. And then I realized most of them had been born in wombs that were already exposed to electromagnetic fields. Their mitochondria had never felt like mine felt as a child, barefoot, outside, on the grass, playing with animals, picking fresh fruit from trees in Georgia. The only electromagnetic field exposure that we would have had was electricity. So through the years, the mitochondria has had to fight harder and harder to do its job. So NRF1 is a wonderful means of giving your mitochondria the help it needs so that you have the cellular energy you need for every cell in your body. I hope that those of you who are not taking it, that you will figure out some way to add this to your health regime.